that maybe the one thing to come from it was the effort you showed. How did you kind of put yourself in a place to be able to capitalize on this opportunity when you got playing time again?
Man, I believe in God, man. So, I wasn't worried about, what's going on and like that. I just trust God. He gonna open doors. He did just that.
How's your body feel? Obviously, you had an impactful first half of the year last year, and then you took stuff out of your control. So how you feel physically?
No, I feel pretty good. I'm, I guess, 100% healthy. I feel fine. I don't have nothing bothering me, so I'm good.
How's this kind of coaching staff and experience been for you with picking up kind of the new language, the whatever, all the differences with JJ's staff?
It's different, but it's nothing that I've never seen before. I've been all over the league, so it's just another day in the office.
Does it feel like the game offensively slowing down for you a little bit? Because just watching some of your drives, you're more patient, or at least seemingly more patient, dribbling and driving to the basket.
I would say yeah, but I'm just not trying to overthink. Just go out there trusting God, trusting my, the work I put in. Just go from there.
Last two.
Cam, as you've watched this team through the games you weren't playing, are you the type of guy who's like looking for like, all right, if I get a chance, I can do this. This is where I can fit in. This is where I can help, or was this all stuff that you kind of knew based on how you helped this team?
No, I know what I could do, but like, what I'm gonna say, I just waited my turn.
JJ told us that he kind of called out the group for their effort. At the same time, he talked about your individual effort as being something that was going to get you playing time on Friday. Do you see that as just got a window to a role, just going out and playing hard at the very least?
What's today, Wednesday? We're going to stay on Wednesday. I don't know what it's going to lead to, but, I'm excited for, what's to come.
LeBron, JJ just said that until later he wasn't even aware of your point total and how high it was at the efficiency, but he just noted the effort level that you came with, and he kind of felt like the rest of the team should be able to match that. You at your stage shouldn't be the one leading that, and not to get you to talk about team in that context, but what is that what you were trying to do, just get the team forward with that level of energy?
Yeah, at the end of the day, especially when you lose bodies, you got to compete. You got to compete even harder. You got to, be out there giving everything that you got and doing it on both ends. So, I think there's times where we did that, but for the majority of the time, I don't think we sustained the energy and effort.
Yeah, for you, the shot was going down. Did you see any teammates get deflated with the shots not falling, and how do you kind of work against that in the flow of a game?
Obviously, when you're getting good looks and they're not, going down, it could be demoralizing for you as a group, for you as an individual at times. But guys kept shooting it when they was open, but just didn't have the good, had it going from the outside as a collective group.
You guys had it down to two at a couple different points, and they just blitzed you with 2 or 3 defensive mistakes, open threes. How frustrating was that in this game?
Well, in the third, we got it down to 2, and they hit 3 straight threes. 2 from Wells and then 1 from Ja, and that went up to 11. So that was difficult for us to keep on trying to come back, and then them shooting the ball as well as they did tonight.
When you guys opened the season against Minnesota, it seemed like it was like execution was where it needed to be. Guys were doing what they were instructed and stuff like that. How has that wavered, do you think, from night 1 through then this trip? Is this group still feeling itself out?
I don't know. Obviously there's more games for other teams to scout us. It's game 1, you don't know what we're doing. So giving the teams are having an opportunity to see what we're doing, trying to take things away. And then when you have 2 starters out, they try to take even more things away and make some of the other guys, try to beat us. So, we got to continue to. We're still executing, but it doesn't look that way when the shots are not going in. So we had some great execution tonight where shots literally did not fall. We executed to a T and they did not fall, but the execution offensively is not the problem. We got to compete and we got to defend. We gave a 50% shooting and they shot their 3-ball well. They got into the paint. They got offensive rebounds. They had second chance points. And they had some transition points as well. So it wasn't too much of the offense, even though we didn't shoot the ball well. We got to do a better job of that. But defense, we got to hang our hat on that too, because we didn't shoot the ball well in a couple of those early games as well. But we was defending at a high level.
You've gone out of your way over the years to praise John Moran, offer encouragement. What's it like having him back doing the things that he's capable of
No,
doing?
just the energy
Even
alone.
in the game, how did you appreciate
The energy alone, the inspiration that he gives to the younger generation alone was huge for our league, and it's great to have him back out there for sure.
Even in the loss, obviously, that's what the main goal. But the game within the game, going back and forth with him, how do you kind of relish those moments?
Two guys from the inner city that loves to compete. You know, that's what we all grew up. You know, playing on the blacktop, playing outside, and competing at a high level when there was no cameras around. There was a bunch of around and playing the game, and you know, that's what the essence of the game is all about.
Scotty's here now on a full contract. Obviously, worked really hard to get there. What do you remember about him and his development when he was with you guys and what you saw tonight?
Been a pro. He's been a pro. He grew up in it. He grew up around it, and he's made a name for himself as well. But he's been a pro, and you know, I knew it when he was with us, and unfortunately, he's not anymore. But I'm happy for him.
What'd you see from Christian in his first stint tonight?
I think in the minutes that he had, he was pretty good for us. Obviously, the wind, he has an opportunity. We haven't even practiced. He hasn't practiced with us. Today was his first shoot-around. Today was his first game. But I thought in the minutes that he was out there, he was just playing free, and that's good. Because, you know, even though he's been around, it's hard to implement the system, you know, from the outside. So, but, you know, to see him, you know, get a good block on a guy driving to the lane, and then, you know, just feel for the game. You know, we hope he gets better and better with us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Christian, if you could just first take us through these last kind of 24, 48 hours, and you know, just being with South Bay and then getting the call and making the flight, and all of a sudden you're playing and trying to get familiarity with the guys. How did that all go for you?
Oh, I mean, it was pretty crazy. You know, I was back there. I was back there. I was getting ready to go to practice at South Bay yesterday, and then I got a call from Rob, and he told me you might need me, like you might need me, and then he just sent me the flight infos, and I was like, I'm gonna just give whatever I have to help the team, and unfortunately we didn't get a win tonight, but you know, I'm just happy that I was able to get back there and play basketball again.
Yeah, JJ Redick and LeBron both said that they were impressed with your effort, all those things considering. What were you focused on when you were on the court, like defense, offense? What were the things that you were trying to...
I was just trying to execute the game plan. You know, we had a game plan. I was just trying to execute it. Like I said, unfortunately we lost, but, you know, just for me personally, I was just happy personally just to be out there. You know, that's my first game in, I think, a year and a half now, so that was a pretty long time. So I'm just happy to be there, and I'm just grateful that, you know, I'm able to play basketball again. So.
And then last one for me, what would you say you focus, like what's your game like on offense, defense? Where do you think that you can help this team, having now seen them a little bit?
I think I can help this team just with rim protection. I think that's one of the best things I do, just rim protection, rebounding, also offensively, defensively. I mean, I didn't really do a good job of it tonight, but I think I can do a better job on that. And just be a rim runner, and then, you know, I'm still working on my shot, so whenever I'm going to get an opportunity to shoot the ball, I'm just be there and shoot.
Christian, you just mentioned it's been about a year and a half since you last played. What was it like just to step back on the court officially, and just the emotion of it, not even, you know, just playing, but being back out there?
It was amazing, man. You know, like I said, I think this last year and a half was probably the toughest time in my life. You know, just not knowing if I was going to play basketball again. And you know, I went, me and my family, you know, we went through a lot this past year and a half, and I'm just happy. You know, when I touch the floor now, you know, I know there's a lot of, maybe my mom, my sister, I know right now, and they had probably a lot of emotions, you know. Myself too, I had a lot of emotion, but I mean, I wasn't going to show it, but I'm just grateful, like I said, to be able to play the game again, and, you know, I'm just going to give everything I have to be able to help the team whenever my name is called.
And then LeBron pointed out you hadn't practiced with the group yet, obviously, and you're coming in trying to learn the playbook and the sets and stuff. What was that like, just in terms of trying to download all that information and then go out there and apply it?
I mean, I felt like I thought I knew everything because they kind of ran the same thing with the South Bay. But when I was out there, you know, the personnel is different. We don't have the same personnel that we have with the South Bay. So it was a little bit different, you know. So, yeah, I was just trying to, you know, play the game of basketball and like apply the plays that I know. There was some play call that I didn't know when they called it. I was just looking at the bench like, what is it? But yeah, I mean, it's going to take some time, you know. Hopefully when we get back, I got some time to practice with them. And then, like I said, whenever my name is called again, I'm just going to go out there and give everything I have.
Christian, you had a big block early on in your first stint in the first half. How did that feel? Your first like real big play, stepping back out on the court.
Yeah, I mean, it felt great. It felt great. You know, when I saw him, I was like, yeah, you better get this block. You better get this block because if he scored out, that would be a bad look on me. So I was like, yeah, I better get this. And then when I got it, I was like, yeah, maybe I'm back. And you know, I mean, I was happy. Like deep inside me, I was really happy about that block. So you know, like you said, that was my first big play.
And then there was a it felt like a long wait after the Lakers signed you for the NBA's Fitness to Play panel to approve you to play. What was that like for you? Was that a nervous time? Was there frustration?
I'm not gonna say I was nervous because I'm confident I was gonna get clear, but it wasn't when. It was when am I gonna get clear? So it was a lot of frustration because at first they said it was gonna take about 4 to 6 weeks. That's what the NBA told me, and it ended up taking like 4 months because there's a lot of lawyers involved in it, so it was taking some time. But yeah, like I said, we had the outcome we wanted. I'm here now, but it was kind of frustrated. But I really appreciate the NBA, the NBPA, you know, my doctors and everybody that was Rob. He really helped me a lot in that process. So I just appreciate everybody that was involved in that process. And yeah, like I said, thanks to them.
Thanks, Christian.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That we have to be, better with basically every aspect of the game. But the main thing, just competing and following the game plan. They lay out, good stuff for us to go execute, and we just haven't done that on this trip. And we got to go home, look ourselves in the mirror, and do better.
What's the level of frustration with that, just given the 3-0 start and you kind of the momentum starting that way, and now you go back home at 500? How do you add all that up?
Yeah, it's frustrating. You want to win every game, but on this road trip, it's not what we wanted to do, obviously. But I think you can take, little things good here and there throughout this road trip. Obviously, Bron tonight was really good. Me, D'Lo, especially have to be better to help him in nights that we don't have AD. Come out with a win here because he did, his part. And then obviously Cam these last 2 games is a very bright spot for, us.
So what's the feeling when it feels like getting hot is just an impossibility? Like you guys have shooters right now that are making one. I mean, you're one of them. Like making a shot, you get a clean look, and it's like it's a momentum one, and it just, especially tonight, it felt like, other than LeBron, I don't know that anybody made 2 jumpers in a row. Like, how frustrating is that, and how does that bleed into other areas?
It's frustrating, but it shouldn't bleed into other areas. There's a million different ways you can help, your team win games. And, we just haven't done those on this road trip. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's frustrating, obviously. I would say 95% of us are perfectionists. I get mad when I miss one shot, but it's the reality of the game. If you make 4 out of 10 threes, you're a really good shooter. So you keep shooting them with, a high level of confidence and, trust the work that you put in. But like I said, there's a million different things during the game that you could do to, help your team win.
You went out of your way the other night to compliment Cam for his use of the time he was given. What did you make of him backing that up tonight and just his overall approach to things, considering obviously playing time wasn't promised to him coming into this year?
Yeah, I mean, it just shows what, the character that he has. It's not easy. I don't even know what game it is, but until 2 games ago or last game before this one, I don't think he played, really a minute other than at the end of the games. So for him to, stay locked in, stay ready for when his name is called is impressive. I remember my rookie year, I got a couple DMPs late, and it's easy to, kind of shut down, and he hasn't done that. You see every day, the things that he does to, put himself in good positions. And, like I said, me and him have a really good relationship. I got a lot of love for him, and I'm just happy to see him out there doing what he loves.
Austin, zooming out, like how do you view and sort of assess these 5 games in terms of like the biggest lesson that you guys can apply moving forward?
Yeah, I think it's attention to detail. We've been talking about that since day one. I don't feel like our attention to detail has been good. Transition defense has been bad. And now we have an opportunity to go home and, be at home and have a couple practices and, try to fix those things. But just the attention to details, all the little things that we have shown we can do, we just haven't done them on this trip.
Austin, you just brought up the transition defense. It feels like that's been a talking point either before or after every game on this trip. Just what level of concern is that specifically up to this point?
I mean, it's concerning because it's not good, but we're, I don't even know how many, 8 games in now, so it's not like it's the end of the world. We will have, in-depth film sessions on what we can do to be better and how we can fix it. And then at the end of the day, it's up to us to, go execute that. But like I said, it sucks because you want to, win every game, and that's one reason, along with, many others that we, haven't been able to, win these games on this road trip.
Does the transition defense become more concerning because that was an area of struggle last season, even the previous season?
No, this is a whole new, system, whole new, coaching staff, and I just don't think that, those years will carry over. I think that, when we lock into the little things, we will, fix those.
What's up, Austin?
How we doing?
Hey, D'Angelo Russell. He's not quite gotten into the same groove that we saw him in last season. His shot not quite falling. What's your assessment of where he's been at so far this season and where you think it's going to go?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure if you was to ask D'Lo, he would be frustrated with, shots not falling. But there's been, multiple games, the Phoenix game at Phoenix, the first, 5 minutes, 80, I think he had 16 or 17 or whatever it was. And I personally thought D'Lo was controlling that game, with his pace, his passing ability. And he's a pro at the end of the day. He works on his game, so me personally, I don't feel like, the shooting will continue. It just takes one game for him to see a couple go in, and then he can, get really hot. So it's very early still, and, I have a lot of confidence in him to, do the right thing. Thank you.
Thanks, Austin.
JJ, starting in the first quarter when they were on the offensive glass a lot, it felt like you did clean that up some. What did you feel like was the standout issue, I guess, as the game went on, aside from just the missed shots from the perimeter?
Yeah, similar to what I said in here, like no secret, right? They're going to push the pace. We've got to get back. We got to get matched up in transition. I believe in that first half they had 9 points after makes, where we either jogged back, we didn't get matched up, we stabbed at the ball twice. Talked a lot about they're going to crash, they're going to send multiple guys. Didn't really have good attention to detail. There were segments in the game where I thought we did. Talked about not allowing the ball to come middle. You do, they run a wheel action. It's really good offense. Killed us on that. Got corner threes, got back cuts, allowed the ball to get middle too much. So you're going to lose.
offensively, LeBron was terrific and efficient, and it seemed like he was also creating shots. Is that contagious? Do you think sometimes for a team when they aren't going down early in it, or did you see something else with the shooting that just shots not going?
No, we generated good shots. There were, I was almost always a couple tough, whether you want to call them ill-advised or whatever. There's always going to be a couple threes like that in the game, but we got good looks. We got good looks in the first half. It really felt like if we executed some of the game plan stuff and made a couple threes, we would probably could flip-flop that. We have a 10-ish point lead in the first half. But yeah, I think LeBron was fantastic tonight. The biggest thing that stood out, I had no idea he had 39 until I'm not looking at the box scores during the game, but he played hard. He's almost 40 years old and played the hardest on our team. Says a lot about him.
I guess the natural follow-up to that is, what does that say about everyone else on a night like tonight when you guys were shorthanded? Were you satisfied with the effort that you got from everyone else?
None of us are.
How's Dalton? It seemed like...
Yeah, I haven't got an update on him. It seemed like he was in some pain. So I think he got hit in the face. I'm not really sure. I can't give you an answer to that.
The D'Lo only played 21 minutes tonight. What did you see there? Why did you make the decision in the second half to go away from him?
Again, just level of compete, attention to detail. Some of the things we I've talked with him about for a couple of weeks, and at times he's been really good with that stuff, and other times it's just reverting back to certain habits. But it wasn't like a punishment. It just felt like for us to have a chance to win this game, that was the route we wanted to take. Gabe in the first half, especially defensively, was fantastic, and I just wanted to see what that looked like. And again, he got some good looks. Dalton had some good looks. I thought Austin had some great looks. Didn't go down, and sometimes those misses can be momentum shifting, especially when they're generating wide open corner threes.
You went to Cam again after he had an impactful shift, I guess, in Detroit. What did you see, and how could he change the complexion of your rotation moving forward?
Thought he for what, again, it goes back to like, what are we asking you to do? What's the role that is going to help the team? I thought in both games there was a real intentionality with Cam for what we asked him to do. So yeah, I would plan on playing him on Friday.
Christian made his debut for you guys. Just what you make of his minutes, and just what can you expect from him going forward in terms of his minute load, considering he's been off for a while.
He's our third big, so AD was out, but yeah, I thought Christian, for getting on a plane yesterday and flying across the country, first game, he's only had 5 days, 6 days with the South Bay Lakers. He was really good.
JJ, what are your? I know it's probably not positive, but like, what are your macro takeaways from the trip? I guess, and obviously tonight, you're missing a couple starters, so maybe it's a hard game to judge. But how do you kind of look at the 5 games in totality?
Goes into choices. It goes back to choices. I think something that we've discussed as a group, and you have a choice every night for how you play, and it has nothing to do with making shots. There's got to be a group of people, 7, 8 guys, that make that choice, and we're a really good basketball team. If we have a handful, if we have 2 or 3, we're not going to be a good basketball team that night. So that's just the reality. That's my biggest takeaway, to be honest.
JJ, from a shooting standpoint, it seemed like guys were, like, and you mentioned Gabe, like, I mean, just looking for any sign of, like, a level of heat. D'Lo, a couple after misses, like, hands over his head, like, you've been in this situation before. What's it like when you just cannot catch that? Like, big part of shooting is obviously making shots, but handling misses and stuff like that too. What are you seeing with your guys right now as they're going through a little bit of a cold spell?
I can't speak to them. I mean, I can't put myself in their brains. I don't think there's ever been a basketball player that stepped on the floor and said, "Man, I really hope I miss all my shots tonight," or "I hope I struggle shooting." You know, it's tough. It's tough to go through it. It's tough to have a bad shooting night, and then, you know, that can, when it starts compounding, that can really start to weigh on you. I had some mental things that I would try to get myself out of it, but again, just speaking to me, there's times when you're in that and it's like, man, I'm never gonna make another shot again. You know, that those thoughts come into your brain. You know, you have to have the sort of the mental toughness to just keep shooting and have the belief. I always, you know, I've told a number of players that I played with when I got older, I was like, 8 for 12. You know, it's going to regress towards the positive at some point. I'm going to have an 8 for 12 night, and generally I did.
JJ, you're talking a lot about two or three guys, getting them to put in the effort. You've talked a lot about wanting to play hard and LeBron being the guy that played hard in tonight's game. How do you address that with the team? What's your philosophy for approaching that?
I just did.